Hey everyone, Diavolo here, and welcome back to my review for chapter 173 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I guess, well, welcome back, and welcome to my new channel for reviews and I guess just any odd videos in general that I kind of want to upload here. I've got an editor who's going to be editing everything from now on. Companion, I don't know if you guys have watched his videos before, but he's, absolutely awesome. So I'm pretty, thankful to have him on board, and he's going to help me out heaps with this channel so I can, do a bunch of different reviews and just upload more stuff in general on my main channel, like the explained videos, so that I can do longer and more detailed videos of those in general as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to get this video and this channel up and rolling. So without further ado, if you are new around here, do make sure you hit that subscribe button, as this channel is definitely going to need it, and we're going to need to pump it to 1k as quickly as we can possibly do. So if you guys can do that, please do hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to leave a like on the video as well, as it really helps out that algorithm and pushes my stuff to a bunch of new amazing people. Plus, I've also got a Discord as well if you do want to get the chapter as soon as it releases and all that kind of stuff. Every single week I'll have these spoilers and kind of the chapter releases up on my Discord, so that is down in the description as well, so do make sure you check that out if you are interested. But anyway, enough of that, let's get into this chapter. So chapter 173 for Jujutsu Kaisen kind of starts off with Megumi and Reggie's fight completely and utterly coming to an end now, and Megumi kind of going up to Reggie and asking him what his kind of deal with Tengen is and how he kind of knew him. So, obviously Reggie had said that the purpose of the culling game, or he had heard that the purpose of the culling game was some kind of facade, or that idea of it being a facade. So Megumi, thought of there possibly being an idea that Kenjaku might be double-crossing everyone, in the Jujutsu society, and kind of teaming up with Gedo here. But obviously that is a possibility. But in the end here, Reggie ends up sending all of his points to Megumi and kind of saying that that's his last good deed on this earth. And Megumi kind of confused at this entire situation, asks him why he'd done this. And Reggie pretty much just tells him that he's just an onlooker, or someone that's just I guess being on the border of the Jujutsu world is kind of what I've taken from that. He's just an onlooker, and him and Kenjaku are not good friends. So I'm wondering if he's someone from outside of the Jujutsu community or society from obviously back in the day, and he had obviously somehow unlocked his ability, probably through Kenjaku or something like that maybe, and here he's come back to fight in this game because he thought it might be interesting. It's obviously just an idea. We're probably not going to know anymore because Reggie is gone now. But he asks him an extremely important, and I think key thing here. He's like, can you do one favor for me before you die? Let fate toy with you and become a clown and then die. So obviously that could possibly be a foreshadowing to, Megumi being the only one from the three that ends up dying, with Nobara possibly coming back sometime soon. I'm not 100% sure. What do you guys think on Nobara? I haven't made Jujutsu Kaisen reviews in a little while now, so I don't know what everyone thinks on the state of Nobara and where she's at. Does everyone still think she's, alive and just healing up somewhere and she's going to pop out sometime soon? Obviously I think she is, but I think that there could possibly be, hinting towards Megumi's death, obviously, and him becoming this kind of clown, maybe for Sukuna in the future, through the use of his, Chimera Shadow Garden, that he'd somewhat, completely unlocked in the last few chapters, or managed to, use to a high degree. But after we leave Megumi, we actually go back over to the fight with Hazunoki and Tabaka, who honestly I think he's just absolutely amazing. The man is hilarious, so I'm super happy to have him in this fight here. And some kind of interesting stuff is found out a little bit later on in this fight with Tabaka. But pretty much what ends up happening is Tabaka completely outclasses this dude to the point that he loses all will to actually end up fighting against him, and from this ends up kind of just leaving the fight in general, because he's completely and utterly shocked how he could have hit him all these times, but the damage or the injury of degree that he's actually taken being none. And the entire time this fight is going on, all Tabaka is doing is kind of making these jokes and not taking the entire thing serious, really annoying Hazunoki-sama. So it's just he kind of annoyed with this, and the fact that his partner has just died has led him to want to leave. But as I was saying, so obviously Tabaka had been told by Megumi that he needs to, like try and get as many points off this person that he was fighting as possible. So, he constantly ran after him just asking for points. And as he actually goes to leave, we get something given to us, through the narrator of the entire story that is extremely interesting, giving us the facts that actually Tabaka is probably on par with maybe even Satoru Gojo, but he doesn't actually even know, because he's, I'm guessing, kind of clueless in the idea that he doesn't really know how he's this strong or like what his power holds. He kind of just goes with the flow, and that's him. And once he figures out maybe how his power works, it would kind of backfire on him almost. As it says here, his power allows him to manifest situations he imagined funny into reality, which is completely and utterly OP. So like him when he got the sauce all over his body and Hazenoka punched him, that obviously there was him imagining that his body was covered in sauce, and somehow his body was covered in sauce. It's the one of the coolest techniques that I've seen so far, and really quite random. So I don't know, I really like his character and the fact that he's got something new that we haven't seen before that could possibly, like as the narrator said here, be on par with Satoru Gojo. But honestly, I don't know, I'd love to know what you all think, so make sure you do chuck a comment down in the comment section below and let me know what you do think about his curse technique, and what kind of situations he could come up with in the future, perhaps like in future battles with other people. And it's quite random how he just randomly teams up with like Megumi and everything. Like I've only just caught up in the last few days because of binging other series and everything, and the last few chapters have just been absolutely amazing. The fight between Megumi and Reggie, and Tabaka showing up was just like, Tabaka's cool, man. Like he's honestly one of the coolest like weird characters to show up in manga for me recently, and for me to like him. So yeah, I'm really happy with the addition of him in here. I hope he stays around as well for like a while longer. But then again, we skip away from Tabaka and the news that we just got about him to Remy, who's talking about how Wolf will always protect her, but then it obviously skips away from, like Remy's point of view to this massive, what looks like Shikigami wolf in front of her. So I'm wondering, like, is that an actual wolf that has been imbued with like some kind of cursed energy and is just gotten out of hand, or is it something like Megumi and it's an actual, like Shikigami user from the past, just like Megumi? Could be a possibility, as I would have loved to absolutely see someone of like Megumi's actual past family who's evil. We know Sukuna has fought someone like that in the past, so seeing that person come back would be insane. But something else, obviously that's not good Megumi coming from, I think, his sister? I don't know, maybe I don't know, like this entire part of the chapter kind of confused me here, with Megumi walking through what seems like some narrow like streets in the Japanese city here, and then him collapsing at the ground saying damn sister. I'm kind of a little bit confused at that entire situation. If anyone has any ideas on exactly how and what transpired there, then do let me know for sure, as it's kind of confused me a little bit. But then instantly after that we have Angel, who like in a very godlike manner graces herself into Megumi's presence and lands like pretty much at the behest of his head. And as you can see with her, she's looking absolutely beautiful. Like honestly, it's probably one of the cleaner looking panels in the last few chapters. Obviously read some like double pages recently, but like this panel here with the close up of her face is just like really stunning. So I hope she's a good character. She's giving me like majestic vibes. We still don't know much about her. I have a little theory on her. I don't know if I've still got it up on my main channel. I might, but go and check that out if you want to. But from Megumi here, we actually skip over to a whole like introduction of new characters that are going on in the Sendai province, or like in another prefecture or another area. I think it's colony number 2, where Yuta is obviously stationed. And we meet a whole bunch of people, starting with Dhruv Lakdawala. So obviously my pronunciation, as normal, is always terrible. So here's like the second incarnation of an old man who achieved sole control of the archipelago during the Civil War of Wa. Honestly, don't have a clue what it's referring to, but I looked up some stuff referring to other people out of the 4 people here that have actually been listed as like kind of new big shots throughout the second colony, the one that Yuta is a part of. So having this man here is kind of like the #1 big shot on 91 points here is extremely interesting. Then we get introduced to Ichigoro Ru with 77 points, who boasts like a kind of like a sonic punch kind of thing. I'm imagining something similar to like what Yuji can do with his divergent fist and how like energy flows through later, except he does it sooner and it like kind of punches off and he just sends it straight out. I'm imagining something like that. I'm not imagining like any like hit shots like that. I'm imagining more of like a cannon type hit. Oro Takako chick is actually like quite interesting to me. On 70 points, the former captain of the Jitsugetsu Shintai unit, who reports directly to the assassination team of the Fujiwara clan, which is something that the Fujiwara clan was actually around from like the early 600s all the way up until like even today, but like barely around today. They were mainly around in like the Heian period, and they're basically in politics. So obviously this is like an assassination team that is kind of linked to a political group. So it's extremely interesting. Obviously she's from probably around, I would say like the 1100s. That's mainly when they had, or the Fujiwara clan had main prominence. So I would assume that she's probably around like from that age, just off like basic Japanese knowledge that I have in general. I don't know like too much about the other ones. I hadn't heard of them before. But we have the Kurorushi as well, which is a cockroach released from Kenjaku's Cursed Spirit Manipulation, which is going to be probably on par with like the Rainbow Dragon that we've seen in the past, or the chick with the scissor hands, you know, like Edward Scissorhands, except it was like Sarah Scissorhands or something. I can't remember her exact name. But yeah, it's probably going to be on par with them. I can't remember if they were considered special grade, but I know that he had 4 special grade curses or something like that. I'm pretty sure in the past, I can't remember exactly, but I would imagine that this is probably on like the same kind of part, and that's on 54 points itself. But obviously, you know, like I didn't want to stick with them for too long, because the man himself, Yuta, immediately shows up and kind of just kills the strongest out of all 4 of these people, being the Kawadra, or let me just get his name correct for a second here, beating Dhruv Lakdawala. So quite interesting, the fact that Yuta, you know, like on the lowest amount of points out of all of them, the fact he's just showing up and immediately killed them, hasn't even thought of the possibility of possibly taking points. I don't know if it could be beforehand, before the point rule got put in it, this could be, but I would imagine that it's probably afterwards, at about the time that we've skipped over to this colony. Is we're kind of seeing this at probably the exact same time as it's happening, if that makes sense, or at least that's kind of, you know, like what I'm assuming here. But they're calling him, you know, obviously the prodigy Yuta here, and I would say the next few chapters are gonna stay with Yuta, because we now have like both Megumi and Yuji stories kind of wrapped up there. So I'm assuming that it's going to stick with Yuta for a little bit, or it could skip over to like Angel and Megumi. I'm not really too sure, but obviously I'd love to know what you guys all think, so make sure you do drop a comment down in the comment section below and let me know. But anyway, do make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to leave a like on the video, as it really helps out with their algorithm and pushes my stuff to a bunch of new amazing people. But anyway, enough of that. For now, it's been your professional degenerate, Diavolo, and I will see you all in a bit. Bye.